Things to look out for in 2025, shadow Fed, sounds spooky, privatization, and the unemployment rate. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting and probably somewhat chaotic year. Hi, I'm Danny Brown. I'm the CEO of Myriad Real Estate Group, and this is our 2025 market prediction video. I do think that homes are going to be more expensive in the future than they are today. So I think that we will continue to see home values increase. However, I think it will be very slow. I think we're going to be in the low single digits, and we're not going to see home values spike. I also think that mortgage rates are going to continue to stubbornly stay in the 6% range. I think that if you are somebody that's been on the fence, waiting for rates to fall, you're going to continue to be waiting for a very long time. I think it's going to be very hard pressed for the market to get below 5.75%, and it's going to be really hard for the market to even get into the high fives. So I think that this rate environment that we're in, you just got to get comfortable with it. This is how it is. If you're looking to buy or home, stop focusing on rates and focus on your monthly payment. If you can afford a good quality home at a price that makes sense for you on a monthly basis, then pull the trigger and stop worrying about the mortgage rate. If you are somebody that bought during that time frame and your rate is in the 7s to 8% range, you will have an opportunity to refinance if you haven't already. I have a lender that I work with that refinanced 14 people this last November because it made sense for them financially, saving them a couple $100s per month. And that's because their rate originally was in the high 7s, and he got them down into the low 6s. So if you didn't work with a lender that's paying attention and looking out for your best interest, pay attention to the rates then. And if you see that rates get to be 0.5% or more, might be an opportunity for you to refinance to get a lower payment. Now, the opposite can be true. We can see rates skyrocket, right? I've talked about in a previous video what Trump means to housing, and one of the things that they've talked about is privatizing Fannie and Freddie. Now, I think this is going to be a very long and cumbersome process if they try to do it. So I don't think that it's going to be a 2025 thing. It's going to probably take longer for them to privatize. But if they start doing that, you're going to start to see mortgage rates go up on that news. So pay attention to the news and headlines that if Trump starts to pursue a policy where they want to privatize Fannie and Freddie, and you are rate sensitive, get into the market before that happens, because that will for sure make mortgage rates go up. Other thing to pay attention to into 2025 is going to be Jerome Powell. So he just recently came out with a very hawkish tone, stating that they're only going to do 2 rate cuts in 2025. We will see about that. It is all dependent on what the employment market does. So if unemployment starts to rise, he will backpedal and, of course, do additional rate cuts. The other thing that I think that is going to end up happening is we are going to have what's called a shadow Fed. So Donald Trump has come out and stated that he doesn't quite care for Jerome Powell, who he nominated back when he was president originally. So that's neither here nor there. But he does not like Jerome Powell and wants to replace him. So I predict he is going to nominate the next chair of the Federal Reserve extremely early, and that person is then going to be front and center with the media. And so anytime Jerome Powell comes out and does something, the media is then going to tap this person and see what they would be doing. So that is going to cause a lot of issues. And, I don't know what the 10 years is going to do, because I don't think we've had a shadow Fed before. But now you're going to have 2 people's opinions that the market is paying attention to, and that's going to cause a lot of disruption. I think we're going to continue to see inventory climb. Slow pace, but I think that we're going to see more inventory in 2025 than we did in 2024, and certainly more than 2023. But keep in mind, we're coming off of historic lows, so that increase in inventory is just getting us back to level. We are just now at pre-pandemic levels in the greater Phoenix area, and even pre-pandemic, inventory was low. So just because inventory is climbing does not mean that we are entering into a situation like 2008 where inventory was out of control. This is going to be very slow growth, and inventory will increase, but that's actually a very good thing for the market. And finally, just pay attention to the unemployment rate. That's really what we're focused on now. I think that for the most part, inflation is under control, and now it's all about unemployment. And so if we start to see that unemployment go up and the job market really start to soften, we'll see mortgage rates come down pretty substantially. And anytime that we have had a higher unemployment rate, that tends to be a boom for the housing market because affordability gets better on the financing side. And we've already seen it happen multiple times over the last couple of years that as interest rates get close to 6%, more and more buyers return to the market. So if we start to see unemployment climb, you'll start to see mortgage rates come down and you'll see more buyers return to the market. And the thing to remember that even though the unemployment rate is rising, most people are still working. Right? Even at the worst of the great financial collapse in 2008, the unemployment rate was at like 9%. So 91% of the market was still employed and still working. So a majority of people, even with the unemployment rate going up, will continue to work, and they will either refinance their mortgages or jump into the housing market to make purchases. So really pay close attention to what that employment rate does over the next year. If you have any questions on what to expect in 2025 in the housing market, definitely let me know. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.